Good morning, dear students. My name is Lucas Kahare, and I'm a tutor for this subject, Teaching and Learning Resources 2. This subject, Teaching and Learning Resources 2, are being taken probably by 4 courses, as you can see on the screen. The courses are Bachelor of Education in Senior Primary and Bachelor of Education Honors Degree, Diploma Junior Primary Education, Diploma Pre-Primary Education, and of course also some postgraduate diploma in secondary education. So for those who are doing Bachelor of Education in Senior Primary and Bachelor of Education Honors Degree, I think they are taking this subject in their second year and first semester. And for diplomas, you are in a third year and first semester. So you are all integrated in one for this subject, Teaching and Learning Resources. So this presentation is based on examination for 2019 in one. For example, in May, August, and November. Just you will be using this presentation. So I'm going to point, just to speak out the main points, since we don't have enough time, and I expect you to listen very carefully on the presentation and take the main important points. I hope that you are already busy with the assignment for 2019. And as I always taught you, even in Teaching Learning Resources 1, I explained that most of the examinations are based on the assignments. So if you master your assignment very well, and you do it, for example, when you receive your marked assignment, make sure that you revise all the mistake you did. And also, if there are any mistake, contact the tutor. Okay, I'm always available for you to revise your assignment. So I'm sure that if you master all the questions in the assignment and then you answer them properly, there is no way you are able to fail the examination. So let's just go to the next slide. These are the main important information for you as a candidate who is going to sit for examination. Question will be answered on a question paper. Okay, you will be given a question paper, and there will be enough space for you to answer. So as you did for Teaching Learning Resources 1. And also you are expected to answer all the questions, because the exam mark, it will be 120 marks for Teaching and Learning Resources 2, not 100 as for Teaching Learning Resources 1. Examination will consist of 120 marks, and also, even for assignment, also was set up to 120 marks. And also for the examination, you answer the question based on the marks allocation. For example, you can't answer, a question which have 4 marks and the other one is 10 marks. So in the same way, no, you see, for example, if I ask you list the items, which means you just have to list, okay, to name one, okay, for example, 4. And if the question is discuss, describe, so which means you have to discuss, okay, you know what is the meaning of to discuss, and they know what the meaning of to describe. I think that we always explain about that, even from your year 1. We explained for you to know the words in the question. So based on the marks allocation, so if the question contains 10 marks, which means you must write more facts. Okay, for example, to to explain more, okay, to show more facts, what is the meaning or what's expected. And also you must write very well, neatly and legibly. Okay, your handwriting must be proper. So because it might mean there are different markers. So if you just write the way you want, which means you will end up losing marks. So please tune your handwriting very well. And also in the examination, you must only use blue or black ink, not red pen, or either pencil. So don't answer with pencils. The assessment, for example, yes, examinations consist of 120 marks, and for you to pass the examination, you must get 50% of the exam, which means 60 out of 120 marks. So if you get below 50, so you should know that you did not make it in the examination. The pass mark must be 50. So aim for 50%, which means you should get at least 60 out of 120 for you to pass the examination. So, and then for your final marks, I think even in your study guide it's well explained how the assessment have been carried. So which means for you to pass now, the overall pass mark must be 50%. So this 50% consists of, calculated as 6% of the examination and 40% of the semester mark, which means that 60% plus 40% is what? 100 marks. 100 marks. So that's how now. So you can, for example, pass the assignment. Maybe you get the assignment 35% out of 40%. And then the examination, maybe you got, for example, 25%. So which means you did not reach 50. Okay, so 50% of the examination for you to pass, you must get like the 30% of 60%. So you can pass the assignment, but if the examination is not above 50%, so you won't make it. You make sure that your examination is fine. So let's now focus what is expected from you, what you need to read, what items, what materials, or what, the main learning outcome you need to focus for the examination. So teaching and learning resources 2 consist of 7 units. There are 7 units in your study guides. So you know that there are probably, 4 study guides. Bachelor of Education in senior primary, they have their own study guides, and also for B honors, they have their own study guides, and also DPP have their own study guides, and also DJPE have their own study guides. But they have the same learning outcome, So that's why now that's why we decide that you all have to take, for example, to have one question paper or one assignment, because you have the same learning outcome. So what expected from you is this. In Unit 1, because there are 7 units, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in Unit 1, the main topic is about you have to analyze general and creative resources which are suitable for different learning areas or subjects. That is a Unit 1. So in this Unit 1, for the previous students, for example, if you are repeating this subject, I don't think that you will have problem again, and I would just want to encourage you that it's just the same like last year. So in this Unit 1, So you learn about how can you use, for example, a newspaper in magazine in teaching different subjects. For example, in teaching English, in teaching mathematics, in teaching geography, in teaching history. You see that? So that's what you learn in Unit 1. First, before you attempt to take this subject, I taught you in Teaching Learning Resources 1 that teaching and learning resources means that to equip teachers with knowledge how they can use resources, for example, like technology, into their classroom to enhance, to improve teaching methods. That is the main purpose of teaching and learning resources. So you must learn how you can use computer in your classroom. Okay, you must learn how you can use different materials and integrate them in your class. For example, to make the class more excited, to make learners focus in your lesson. That is the main objective of teaching and learning resources. That's why now you see that in Unit 1, it will teach you how you can use magazine, newspaper, any other materials, and you bring them in your class in teaching. Okay? That's the main important. For example, in Unit 1 now. So you will learn, for example, that you can use a newspaper in teaching English. For example, learners will be able to read on their own. And when they read, they will improve their reading skills. They will improve their listening skills. Isn't it? And many more. For example, also, you can use newspaper and magazine in teaching mathematics. So what are the outcomes there? What are the outcomes? For example, yes, in newspaper, you find that there are some graphs. For example, it can show that maybe the rainfall, the graph which shows maybe the rainfall in Windhoek, in Omaruru, in Rundu, in Ongwediva, okay, maybe in millimeter. So now you can give it to students to interpret the graph. For example, how many rain was in, so how much was rainfall in Windhoek, how much was in Ongwediva, and so on. So they will be able to read on graph. Okay, so that which means that you are improving learners on how to interpret information. And also, they will be, apart from reading the graph, so if there are figures listed, for example, maybe in Windhoek, maybe 120 milliliter and so on, so they're able to take those figures and draw a graph. And also they can calculate, for example, and also you can use it also in teaching mathematics. For example, they can calculate numbers which are in newspaper and so on. In this unit, also Unit 1, you will also learn about how to use a flow chart, okay? A flow chart in your teaching, also in Unit 1. So let's just look at here. There is one paper I put here. That's one paper I put here. So in Unit 1, it's here saying that they are learning from the junior primary syllabi for numeracy and mathematical and environment study and suitable resources to teach content skills and attitudes. And also, but the main things 1.2. Okay? Yes, at 1.2. You see the use of newspaper and magazine as a creative resources in numeracy and mathematics as well as environmental studies. Okay? So this learning outcome, I'm explaining it based on DJP, study guides. So, and it is very clearly explained in your study guide how you can use a newspaper and magazine in teaching those areas. So in other study guide, like for the B honors, they talk about also like natural science. So which means that's the same as environmental studies, natural science, social study, and so on. And also you learn the important photos and pictures for primary learning and their integration for storytelling methods. So yeah, this is very much, there are also some questions explain how you can integrate photos into storytelling. For example, yes, in your classroom. So if there's photos, for example, maybe you want to teach maybe the water cycle, okay, there will be a diagram or photo. So in that one, you will be able to explain it well. Or either, for example, the storytelling, like in social science, social studies, for example, the history, what happened long time ago. So you will have some photos, and on that photo, learners can see and tell what happened. Okay, it's just like a cartoon. Okay, what happens long time ago, or what is happening, what happens onto the picture. So these are the, you must master that 1.3. 1.2, outcome 1.2, and outcome 1.3. You must know that one. And also coming to 1.5, and also you must master also 1.5, the learning outcome, the proper use of magnifying glass and substance from a kitchen on teaching environment studies and natural science lessons. You must also know that one, 1.5. Why I'm doing this is because many of you have been calling me and writing, so on which page I can find this question or this information. That's why I'm using now here, you see yourself. And this is a clear that if you focus, there's no way you will fail. And also there are page numbers here. For example, the proper use of diagram and flow charts are on page 30. Okay? But for the DPP, he has not flow, he has a flashcard. He has written a flashcard. Okay? Here is written as a flashcard. In the other study guide, it's written a flashcard, not a flow chart. So you must know that, and also you must also know 1.7 Namibian resources, Namibian sources to obtain teaching and learning resources. Okay. In other words, what is the importance of Namibian Teachers Resources Center? Okay, and I think it was also in the assignment. You must also know this one. Okay, the functions and location of Namibian Resources Center. And from there, we are done with Unit 1. Okay, I'm just cycling the main important learning outcome. And I'm not going to explain because so it will take even 2 months or 3 months to finish the study guide. But I'm just taking the main point that you need. So with Unit 1, we are done. And then it comes to Unit 2. Okay, if you look at on the PowerPoint presentation, Unit 2 talk about evaluate and apply the use of computers in primary setting. Okay? This is the main heading of the lesson. You must know, you should be able to do what? To evaluate and apply the use of computers in primary setting. So in this unity, so you will be learning or you will be reading, for example, what is a computer? Okay? So you should know a computer as a teacher. So we are no more in old days where you can only use a blackboard or a whiteboard. But here now you will be expected to prepare a PowerPoint presentation and put, for example, some pictures there and information, and students will be able to listen to you and see the pictures on the PowerPoint. And this is enhanced or this make a lesson very interesting and also does not waste time. So in Unit 2, you must know what is a computer, the types of computers, the components of computers, and how you can introduce your learners into using computers, and how they should behave in the labs, or I mean in the computer labs. And also in this unity, you will also learn about terms or concepts which are used in computer, like what's a megabytes, that's a kilobytes, and what's a bandwidth, what's a modem, okay, and so on. So those are the main things you should know in Unit 2. So if you can look also on this one, on this presentation, so it's just the same like in PowerPoint. The role of resources and media in communication and learning theories. So you should know the meaning concept. What is a modem? Bandwidth. Okay, animation, but maybe a backup file. What does to back up a file mean? Maybe what is what's a megabytes? Okay, gigabytes. Okay, decentral, application-centric infrastructure. So this, you know, these are terms. For example, maybe firewall, search engine, and so on. PowerPoint, desktop, and so on. So you should know this. Okay? You should know those terms and what does it. For example, what's a modem? Okay? What's a modem? For example, a modem is simply a device that you can use, for example, to convert the information from analog to digital. Okay? To digital, or digital to analog. That is a modem. So I don't need to go there into deep, so it will not, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time for that. And also, a bandwidth is, for example, the amount of data needed for the transmission. For example, if there is a low bandwidth, it means, for example, if you sit on a computer, if the bandwidth low, it means the computer, I mean, your internet, even if you are searching something, so it will take time to load because it has what? Low bandwidth. Okay? And so on. When we talk about megabytes and gigabytes and so on, so those are also terminologies which you use in computer communication. For example, the speed of my internet is, for example, 20 megabits per second, or gigabit, which means that megabyte is smaller and followed by gigabytes. So in other words, kilobytes is very small. After that, then followed by megabytes and then gigabytes. Okay, for example, nowadays computer now, the hard drive of your computer, some have 500 gigabytes. But now you can find some computer which have terabytes, so which is very big, okay? Which is very big now. So these are just terminologies, so you don't need to know the unity. For example, how many megabytes are in kilobytes, or how many gigabytes are in terabytes. No, you don't need to know. Just the meaning only for you just to explain. And also we come to 2.2, learning outcome 2.2, search engine and teachers can use. For example, what are the search engines that you need? Okay? Search engine, what are the search engines? Search engines are those software that you use to search information on the computer, like Google, okay? That is www.google.com. Okay, for example, those who when I used to mark the assignment, I used to see that some students, they just Google, copy and paste. Then I can write the no. I see this is not, you didn't get it on your own, or maybe reading, you Google, then from there you paste. So those are search engines. And also the main important is this one, 2.3. Yeah, 2.3 It's always there. No, I'm not telling that maybe you should memorize it. I'm just telling that this is a main fact. So take it or not. It's about advantage and disadvantage of computer assistant instruction. Okay? What are the advantages of using technology, computer, into teaching in your classroom? And what are the disadvantages? It's very easy. And many of you, I know that you know, okay, what is there. So if you use computers, for example, PowerPoint presentation, and also some, if there are learners in your class, maybe who don't hear, I mean, for example, yes, who don't hear or listen, yes, you can also use a computer, okay, speech for them, and also maybe those who have problem of spelling. Okay, nowadays a Microsoft Word or it comes with sophisticated technology. So if you misspell the word, so it will underline that the word is not correct. So this is also, so it's easier for you to use a computer than just a traditional teaching, and you must know that one. And what else? Different teaching learning application of PC primary. Okay, and also you must also know this. Read those one. And yes, learner search and integrate in the class. Learner solve problems. Yes, you must also just know those facts. Or those. So it's still Unit 2. It comes. Yeah, and also you must know 2.7. 2.7, the administrative function that can be done with a computer. Okay? What are the administrative functions that can be done with a computer? Might be asked. Microsoft Word, yes, you can use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Access, Microsoft Publisher, and so on. This is in the study guide of DJPE. Okay? So, but in other study guide, also the same, just the same. And also how to introduce learners to use of computer. Yes, I explained that already, 2.8, that learning outcome, you must know that. Okay. And we are coming to Unit 3. Yes, we'll soon be done. Unit 3, so yeah, if you look at a PowerPoint presentation in Unit 3, it says that discuss and demonstrate the use of further education technology in upper primary setting, which is a Unit 3, yes, in PowerPoint presentations. So now here, that's why I put a paper here, a table of content or learning outcome for me to explain exactly where you should go in your study guide or what you should read. So 3.1, the use of digital photos in different in different subjects. So you must also know that one. Then it comes 2.31, digital video, YouTube, and virtual field trip. Okay? So how can you use this technology? For example, a video clip, YouTube, and virtual field trips. What learning outcome? What student can achieve into using YouTube in your classroom? Okay? And also digital video clip and also virtual field trip. So these are very well explained. Very well explained. Okay. Nowadays is a YouTube. Yes, if you want to teach history, maybe whatever, maybe you want to teach about Hitler, you can just write. For example, you can www.youtube.com. Okay. Yes, in a search you write maybe Second World War or First World War, so it will come. There are some video there, and students can watch what happened. And whatever, maybe, for example, in modern history. So everything's now being recorded. And students are able to learn and see. For example, in a field trip, so maybe if you want to teach students about how the mine industry looks like, for example, the mine for diamond, the mine for the uranium, yes, you can take them maybe to roasting uranium mine, and you get there and show them how all that. So which means students will see and visualize, and in this it will remain in their memory, and they will even take some photos and so on, and they will have a practical world experience. Okay, in a digital video clips, for example, when students maybe they are doing a lab work and so on, so yes, you can use your camera and then record the video, or maybe you are teaching, so students also can record the lesson, so later on they can watch over that video, that they can watch over, and for them to remember the facts. Know that one. 3.1 and also 3.3, learning outcome. Learning outcome can be achieved by using iPod and tablet. You should know 3.3. Should know that one. And also 3.4, smartphones support teaching and learning. How can you use smartphones to support teaching and learning? And also you should know, yes, 3.5, very important, the benefit of internet searches to teaching and learning. What's the main? Yes, you can find electronic books, free lesson plans, subject content, resources links, and those things, okay? So if you want maybe a lesson plan for certain topic, okay, maybe you want to teach the learners about number system, okay, you can just Google, you write there on internet search like lesson plan number system, it will come. Okay, everything's there on the net. That's why this subject is very much important, because it teaches you how to use and where to get the resources. Yeah, yes, 3.55. Yes, it's also, yes, know that one also. And yes, this should be 3.6, so but you don't have number, 3.6. Yes, you must also know this, okay? Know those one as well. Yeah, and also know the 3.10, advantage and danger of overusing technology learning. Yes, of overusing teaching learning technology. Advantages and the danger. So why is, for example, that you just depend on using these computers, projectors, and other technologies? What is the advantage and what are the disadvantage? Okay, it's just the same as SAI and also, so, but somehow should be, they have different a bit. But you just read that point. But it's very much important, you must know this one. Okay, if you overuse the technology. So that is Unit 3. Okay, let's go to Unit 4. Yes, let's look at the PowerPoint presentation. Discuss the role of educational resources for inclusive education and assessment. Okay, it's very much important now here. Here it will tell you, it will now tell you like, okay, these resources or this technology, how can you use it? To include learners. Disadvantaged learners, maybe learners who can't see, or maybe learners who can't hear, okay, maybe learners who can't read, or learners who can't write. So now how can you use now this technology now, okay, to include everybody in your classroom? That's Unit 4. Okay, you must know 4.1. Multimedia support for learners with learning difficulties. Yes, 4.1 is very much important. You must know that. Okay, how can you use technology to support learners who have learning difficulties? Okay, and also, yes, just know all the facts there. And also the main important, also know 4.4, 4.5, the use of peer and self-assessment rubric. And you must know what is a rubric. and what is peer and self-assessment rubric. Okay? So if this question is also in your assignment, it's always there. You must know that. And also, you know, the value of keeping a data bank of test and examination papers, which means 4.5. Okay, for example, for you now, a teacher. So, for example, you are setting a question paper now this year, maybe yes, for November examination, and next year for the April and so on. So why is that important for you to keep those question papers or and other materials in your computer? You see? Yes, of course, one of the main, yes, it saves time. Okay? It saves time. And also, so it's also easier for you just to update some questions instead of just reset from the beginning. And also, yes, it can improve your classroom management. For example, yeah, yes, if you want maybe to give an exercise or a test in the class, yes, you can just go in your materials which was taught in your computer and take some questions, print, and then go and use them. So there are many facts there. So I'm just telling you where you should concentrate, and when you go read there, you will find the main point. That's Unit 4. It's done. Let's go to Unit 5. Evaluate the management of media in the class and school context. Okay? It's so it's here. You can just see. Okay, let me just put it proper. Yes, Unit 5. The management of media in the class and school context. So how can you manage now the resources at school? Okay? How can you manage it? For example, maybe you are a principal. For example, you have lab. Okay? You have library and so on. And also, there are materials at school, for example, the textbooks, the equipments. So how are you able to manage those teaching and learning resources at your school? For example, yes, there is maybe an equipment in the lab. So, and there are various teachers who teach natural science, or maybe, yes, those physics, physical science and so on. So how are you going to manage who borrow the materials or the equipment, and for how long they should keep the equipment, and how many equipment are they taking? This is where the topic now you have to learn the management. Okay? And also, I think there's 5.1 here, only that there's 5.1. The importance for the teacher to steadily build up a collection of teaching learning resources. Okay? Why is that the teacher is important to keep on the materials, for example, to keep the question papers, to keep the books, to keep the lesson plans, and to keep the PowerPoint presentations. Okay? What is the importance of that one? And also, you must know 5.2. I think this is 5.2. The advantage and disadvantage of central media storeroom for teachers. Okay? You must know that one. Why you should, for example, you should have a storeroom where the materials should be kept. Okay? And what's the advantage of that? And what is the disadvantage? And also, so if there's no media storeroom, so the alternative one, for example, 5.3, you must also know alternative storage plan in the absence of central storage facilities. This one also you must know. This on page 218 for DJPE. You must also know that one. And the safe storage of object and equipment in a class or school, 5.5, you must also know that. Okay? And also this 5.8, involving parents. Yes, 5.8 here. How parents can be involved, okay, in gathering and storing of resources. That is 5.8. You also know that one. And 5.9. You must know those, okay? So I'm just making it easier now because I find, so if I just do a PowerPoint presentation, you don't know where to get information. Student, you have been asking, so at which page and all that. So if you take this, so it will be easier for you. So Unit 5 done. Let's go to Unit 6. So here now talk about, so if you look at on a PowerPoint presentation, Unit 6, about discuss the importance and functions of an information resources center in schools, okay? We all know what is information. So even they ask you maybe in the exam, so what is information resources center? Explain. And then maybe 2.2, okay, discuss the importance of having information resources center in schools. Okay, you should know what's information resources center and why it's important and why you should have it at your school. For example, what are those resource centers? Okay, for example, I'm just giving one. A library is also there. Okay, yes, students can go there and read books to improve their learning. Maybe they were in the class and listening. Maybe they did not get some fact. Yes, they can go in the library and get books and read, which means this will increase their knowledge in addition from the classroom. So, and also teachers can get extra information to improve their teaching strategy and so forth. And also learners can work together in the library to find more information, to answer their assignments, to answer their homeworks, and so on. That is Unit 6, okay? So where can you get the information? So what is important here is 6.1, the function of information resources center in schools. Yes, you should know that one very well, okay? And also 6.4, ways in which schools could acquire teaching learning resources. Okay? In which way they could acquire teaching learning resources. So how now the school can get maybe computers, books, projectors, and other things, how they should do it. So you as a principal, you must make ways. For example, maybe fundraising, okay, making some fundraising events, okay, to raise funds, or maybe you can ask from the community to contribute money for you to buy those things, and so on. Yes, maybe you can also write a letter to the government or to the inspector for assistance, or maybe to the business owners, okay, in that area to help you with money for you to acquire teaching and learning resources. Okay, but they are very well explained in your textbook, but you have to know that one. And also 6.5, classroom. 6.5 is classroom as mini resource center. Yes, that one is very important. And 6.6, rules and regulations for the management of computer laboratory. Okay, so if the principal maybe appointed you to be computer lab manager as a teacher, so what rules should you set, okay, for learners and other staffs? You should also know that one. And also you should also know those ones, 6.71, so you also know. Okay, Unit 6 done. Let's go to Unit 7, the final one. So if you look at on a PowerPoint presentation, it says that discuss the use of peer tutoring in schools. Peer tutoring in schools. Why is that important? Okay, important. You know what? You know that in some of you in your classroom you have smart students. Okay, smart students. Maybe you can explain. Some don't understand. So for those who understand, you can give them opportunity, or you can train them to assist others. Because, and also learners also, they can get information easier when they listen to their fellow learners. For example, yes, during study time, those tutors, so those learners, yes, they can also help give them chance to explain some facts which other learners did not understand. So here, 7.1, define peer tutoring and peer mentoring. Okay, what's peer tutoring and what's peer mentoring? Okay. Okay. For example, this is a peer tutoring is, for example, using students to help other students to understand. For example, to help them teaching, maybe to help them discuss some facts which they did not understand. And also peer mentoring. For example, there are some elder learners in your classroom. Yes, they can assist the young ones. For example, how they should be, or for example, how they should behave, or for example, for them to overcome maybe bullying. Okay, that's mentoring for the older learners to mentor a young learners. So it's just in short, the word is defined that peer tutoring and peer mentoring. That one you must know. 7.1 and 7.2, possible advantage and disadvantage of peer tutoring in schools. Okay, what are the advantages, for example, for appointing learners to help teach, and what are the disadvantages of appointing learners to teach other learners? What are the advantages and what are disadvantages? Okay, also very well explained in your study guide. Know that one, very much important. 7.2. And also 7.3, setting up a peer tutoring system. So how can you set up now a peer tutoring system? For example, for the learners now to help other learners. There's a process for you, okay? You must require what? Planning, that's what? Commitment, select staff to train those learners, select peer tutors, okay? And training tutors. Okay, 7.3, setting up a peer tutoring schools. You must know this one. And also plan times, venue, and rules. And also plan record keeping forms, and so on. And 7.4, maintaining a peer tutoring system in schools. Okay, these are formative monitoring and summative progress evaluation report to parent staff. Okay, so in other books there could be, let me just quickly just get one of the, show you also book for, you know this book, this is for, that is study guide, diploma in pre-primary. Okay, in pre-primary education. So this one also, so this is for DPP, but this one, this paper I've been using is for DJPE. So if we look at, if we go to yes, for example, yeah, here, just on page for the disadvantage of peer tutoring, just for you to make sure where you should get the information. Yeah, okay, so this is what I've been Yes, telling you what is peer tutoring and peer mentoring. Okay? And also advantage of peer tutoring is there here for those DPP book. And also disadvantage of peer tutoring is also there. Yes, that one. Disadvantage. And also there are, yes, what I say that in other books they have what? There are 3 areas of critical concern. Okay? Accountability, peer competence, and informed consent. Okay, maybe they just explain what's advantage and disadvantage of peer tutoring, and discuss 3 areas of critical concern. Okay, this accountability and so on. So and you can see that for this one now, in DJP is here, which means the last one here, maintaining and peer tutoring system in schools, formative monitoring, and this summative and progress, this one. Okay? You see that how, but it's not much difference. So and then overall on the let's just finish the last one. I have also a study guide for those Bachelor of Education in senior primary. Yes, there. Okay, that one also a study guide for the Bachelor of Education in senior primary, and also I think this one is also equivalent to Bachelor of Education in honors degree. So if we go to the question 7 point Unit 7, you see it's also there. It's what Unit 7 is here. The use of peer tutoring in schools. So everything's there. Let me just go to the advantage and the disadvantage, and what is a peer tutoring all about. This, okay, what's a peer tutoring is explained, and what's peer mentoring also explained. And also advantage and disadvantage. Here is advantage, okay? 7.2. All these notes are advantages of peer tutoring. And also you can read for the disadvantage. Sorry, maybe you don't see well, but I hope that you are able to see. And also here, disadvantage of peer tutoring. Those are information. And also there are 3 areas of critical concern: accountability, peer competence, informed consent. They are here. You see, they are just the same as in a study guide for DPP, and here's study guide for Bachelor of Education in senior primary. You see that they are just the same. They set up the same. They have the same information. That's why you have just one assessment, because your study guides are similar. So, in short, we have just finished the subject, the whole unit, within less than an hour. So, I just did this one for you to understand better, because I think there is nothing again will confuse you during the examination. So if you look at in the PowerPoint presentation, and the papers are just represented. So take note that those areas I cycle and mark correct, you must concentrate on those areas. There are 7 units, and you should know all of them. Read the whole study guide from now on. So by April or May, you have mastered all the materials. So I don't want to talk too much, but let's just, here is your homework. If you look at on the PowerPoint presentation, I'm sure I also left for you a homework for you, the work to do. The work to do for you is here, like homework. There are 7, yes, there are 7 units, and there are also, I think there are 9 questions or so, yes. These are your homework. State the function of the Namibian Teachers Resource Center. You see? Those are homework. Maybe this question is also in the assignment, maybe in the exam, I don't know. But it is in the assignment. You should know that one. And also 2, explain the use of school administrative function that can be done with a computer. Okay, this unit 2. The first one, state the function of the Namibian Teachers Resource Center. That's unit 1. You find it in unit 1. And this one is what in unit 2. What you must use: Microsoft Word, Excel, Access, and so on. Explain the benefit of using online education. Okay, this is very much important. I think it's unit 3. What is the importance of online education? So, for example, you see that you can sit at home and you can download materials on portal, on IOL portal. Okay, that's online education also. Or materials on your portal. That's what's the importance of that one. Okay? And discuss the advantage and disadvantage of computer assistance instruction. Okay? Using computers, technology. In other words, is using computers and other technologies. What are the advantages and disadvantages? I think this is unit 2. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of central media storeroom for teachers. Okay? What's having storeroom to keep all the materials in there? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Let's go. Question 6. Discuss the possible advantages and the disadvantages of peer tutoring in schools. Okay, that is what. So we just discussed which unit is this one? Unit 7. Question 7. State factors that you have to keep in mind when drawing a flowchart diagram in teaching and learning in order to facilitate the understanding of key concepts to learners. So this is unit 1. Like again, what is a flowchart or flashcard and how can you use it? And 8. Question 8, give reasons and explain why using technology, such as computers, cannot replace teachers. Yes, it's very much important now, okay? Now, there are a lot of technologies which are using, there's a YouTube in the computer, and there's a Google, a student can Google. So is that really, so is all this can replace teachers? That learners don't need teacher anymore because they can just use internet to get books. They can go to internet and get a lesson. So is this technology will replace teachers? There will be no more teachers. Okay? Give reason why it will never replace teachers. Okay? And 9, explain how the use of internet searches could benefit the teaching and learning. Okay, for example, learners now, we have internet, yes, they can search everything. So why it is, explain how it can benefit teaching and learning. Even you, okay, you have the internet. So how the internet will help you to facilitate, or to make your class interesting. Okay, I know that, yes, you can search there to get lesson plans, books, and so on and so on and so on. So that is the end of our presentation for today. And this presentation is based on 2019 examination. May, August, and November examination. They are all just in one. Please just focus. So this question I gave you, they are not, doesn't mean that these are questions for the examination. Then you just answer those and say, no. This is just an example how questions are being asked. Okay? Those are just your homework for you to practice, because I can't come here and do presentation and just go back without giving you any work. This is your work for you to do. And if you have problems in answering these questions, my email is there. Okay? You can send me an email, and also my numbers on your assignment is there, so we can discuss. And many students, they write me an email, I answer them, or they call, so I also answer them. So thank you very much for paying the attention and for working together with me. And I hope that this subject will be enjoyable to you, and your examination will be, so you will be getting 70%, 80 or 90, but expect that you should get at least 80%. So if you get 80%, which means you are good, you understand the materials, okay, you understand the objective and the outcome of the subject. That's what we need. Please don't get 50%. Okay, I don't want students to get 50%. Okay, aim yourself high, at least 80%. Thank you very much, and all the best. Good luck. Thank you.